The sun dipped low over Crestwood High, casting an orange glow across the cracked asphalt of the back lot. The day should have ended with the final school bell, but for one girl, the real test was just beginning. 16-year-old Mia Carter knelt in the dirt, her hands trembling as they gripped the hem of her hoodie. Her dark hair hung over her face like a curtain, shielding her eyes from the dozens of phones aimed at her. Laughter echoed in a vicious ring, sharp and merciless, predatory. Across from her stood Brittany Caldwell, the self-declared queen of Crestwood, flanked by her entourage. Jake, the star linebacker, loomed like a wall of muscle. Tara, Brittany's sycophantic cheerleader shadow, held her phone at the perfect angle to capture every second. This wasn't bullying, it was public execution. "Eat it, freak," Brittany hissed, holding a clump of wet soil like a prize. "You're already nothing. This just makes it official." The crowd roared with laughter. Mia's stomach churned. Her palms were scraped, knees bruised. She wasn't just hurt, she was humiliated. Everything inside her screamed to fight back. But she didn't. She couldn't. She wasn't just the quiet girl who kept her head down. Not really. Because beneath that fragile shell, buried deep under years of silence and shame, was someone else entirely. 3 years ago, Mia Carter didn't exist. Back then, she was known as Sparrow, a name whispered with reverence and fear inside the walls of a clandestine training facility known only to the most powerful criminal elite, the Order of the Silent Blade. At just 13, Sparrow was a prodigy. She'd been taken in by the Order after her parents' mysterious death, trained to kill, conditioned to never question. A black belt in 4 disciplines, fluent in 10 languages, master of weapons and poisons, a ghost even before she disappeared. But one mission changed everything. She was ordered to eliminate a target who turned out to be innocent. When she hesitated, her mentor was killed in front of her as punishment. That night she fled, faked her death, burned every trace of her past, and became Mia Carter, the quiet, stuttering girl no one noticed. But now, her past was clawing its way back. The dirt hit her lips, gritty and wet. Brittany had shoved it against her face with manic glee, laughing as Mia reeled back. "She's gonna cry!" Tara howled. Jake shoved her hard. Mia almost fell. Her glasses flew off, landing in the dust. Her breathing was ragged, her fists clenched. She could end this. She could snap Jake's knee, break Tara's nose, disarm Brittany in 3 precise moves, and leave them all sobbing in the dirt. She knew the angles, the joints, the force it would take. Every calculation clicked in her brain like a well-oiled machine. But she didn't move, because if she did, they'd see. Not just the kids, the Order. Her display would be seen, recognized. And if they were watching, they'd come. So she knelt there, tasting the dirt, trembling, burning with shame. "Pathetic," Brittany sneered, tossing the rest of the soil onto Mia's hoodie. "You're not even worth the data on my phone." The crowd dispersed slowly, still snickering. Tara walked backwards, filming, just in case Mia did something worth uploading. But she didn't. She stayed on her knees until they were gone. Only then did she wipe her mouth, retrieve her glasses, and stand. Her eyes burned, but not from tears, from the storm building inside. The next day passed in a blur. Mia kept her head down, but her senses were hyper-aware. She tracked every movement in the cafeteria. Brittany's watchful glares, Jake's low chuckles, Tara's camera always aimed at her like a sniper's scope. They weren't done. She could feel it. This was just the beginning. And she was right. After school, behind the gym, it happened again. But this time, the audience was smaller. Just Brittany, Jake, Tara. Two new faces, Ryan and Cole, more jocks with more muscle than brains. Brittany had a plastic bag in her hand. Its contents were dark, wet, and reeking. "You didn't eat enough yesterday, dirt girl," she cooed, "so we brought leftovers." Jake stepped forward, cracking his knuckles. "Don't make this hard." Mia's heart pounded. "Don't react. Don't blow cover. Don't be Sparrow." She tried again. One last chance. "I don't want trouble," she whispered. "Too late," Brittany snarled. "Jake, hold her." He lunged. Mia moved. She twisted his grip, flipping him off balance in one fluid motion. Jake stumbled back, shocked. Everyone froze. "What the hell?" Ryan muttered. Tara's phone dropped. Mia picked it up and tossed it into the grass. "No cameras!" Jake roared, charging again. Mia sidestepped, fluid and precise. "I said walk away," she warned. Brittany screamed, "Get her!" Cole rushed. Sloppy. Telegraphed. She ducked, grabbed his ankle, twisted. He went down. Ryan backed off. Jake came again. She dropped low, swept his leg, sent him sprawling. Not one strike, no blood. Just technique. She was still holding back. But now they were afraid. Brittany trembled as Mia approached. "You don't get it, do you?" Mia said, voice low. "You picked the wrong person." Brittany's bravado cracked. "Stay back, you psycho!" Mia stopped just short. Her presence felt bigger, deadlier than her frame could explain. "This ends now. You leave me alone, or next time I don't hold back." Jake groaned from the ground. Tara retrieved her phone with shaking hands. No one spoke. Mia walked away, but as she rounded the gym, a sound stopped her cold. Clap, 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 slow, deliberate. She froze. A figure emerged from the shadows. Mid-30s, lean, sharp, deadly, black jacket. Eyes like razors. He smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Impressive, little Sparrow," he said. Mia's blood turned to ice. "You've been hard to find." The man standing in the shadows had the kind of stillness that didn't belong in a high school. Everything about him was wrong. Too calm, too clean, too deadly. He stepped forward, boots crunching softly on gravel. Mia's breath caught in her throat. "Who are you?" she asked. Her voice was barely steady. The man smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Call me Raven. The Order sends its regards." Mia's heart slammed in her chest. Her hands went cold. "You didn't think you could hide forever, did you?" he said, stepping into the fading sunlight. His face looked familiar. She remembered him, not from her missions, but from the shadows. A handler, a whisper in the halls. One of the silent enforcers who cleaned up when students like her got messy. His presence changed everything. The ordinary life she had stitched together with careful lies, gone in an instant. The Order didn't just find people, they reclaimed them, or they eliminated them. She'd been their best student, a prodigy, a tool they sharpened for others to use. But she ran. She was a liability now, a ghost they had every reason to erase. Raven stepped closer. "You've got two choices, Sparrow," he said softly. "Come back with me. Finish what you started. Or—" He didn't finish the sentence. He didn't have to. His hand brushed the edge of his jacket, just enough to show the hilt of a blade. The threat hung in the air like fog. Mia's mind raced. She could fight him. She'd been better than most of them once, but not here. Not with her muscles half awake and her instincts dulled by 3 years of pretending. And not with Brittany's crew possibly still watching. She couldn't afford a scene. "I'm not her anymore," Mia said, forcing her voice to stay calm. "Sparrow's dead." Raven chuckled. It was a low, dangerous sound. You can change your name, dye your hair, play the meek little schoolgirl, but you can't change who you are. He jerked his head toward the back of the gym. That little display back there? That was Sparrow through and through. Mia's stomach twisted. He'd been watching the whole time. What do you want? She asked, buying time. Raven's eyes gleamed. The Order has a job for you. One last mission. Do it, and you're free. Free? She said bitterly. You don't let people go. Refuse, he said with a shrug, and you disappear. No more second chances. She could feel it now. Subtle, quiet pressure in the air. She was being watched. Raven wasn't alone. The Order never worked solo. He was the one who talked. The others would be the ones who finished it, if needed. I need time, Mia said. Raven tilted his head like he was evaluating prey. 48 hours, he said. Meet me at the old warehouse on Pike Street. Midnight. Come alone. Then he stepped back, vanishing into the growing dark like he'd never been there at all. Mia's knees nearly buckled, but she forced herself to keep moving. She couldn't stop. Not now. She didn't go home. She walked for hours, thinking, planning. Running was pointless. They'd found her once. They'd do it again. She had one option: outsmart them, turn their game against them, and that meant confronting everything she'd buried. The next 2 days were hell. Mia went to school, but her mind was elsewhere. Brittany and her clique were unusually quiet. The video hadn't been posted. No one laughed in the hallways, but there were whispers, glances, a ripple of fear around her. Jake had a black eye. Cole was limping. She didn't care. They weren't her biggest problem anymore. That night, she opened the case under her bed. It was dusty, untouched. Inside were pieces of a life she swore she'd buried. A garrote wire, throwing stars, flashbang shells, a half-complete stun device, a stolen USB from her escape, a photo of her and her mentor, smiling before everything shattered. She repurposed what she could. Tools from school became weapons, wire from piano strings, chemicals from science labs, a flashlight converted into a shock trap. She mapped out the warehouse on Pike Street. Every door, every blind spot. She studied the blueprints she pulled off an old city website using encryption keys she remembered too easily. And when the night came, she was ready. The warehouse was a decaying skeleton of rust and glass. Broken windows glared like hollow eyes. The smell of old oil and rain-soaked wood filled the air. Mia entered from the west side, moving silently between the pillars. Under a flickering fluorescent light, Raven waited. But he wasn't alone. A woman stood beside him, bald, with a long scar across her cheek and eyes like glass. Next to her, a man who looked like a tank in human skin. Square jaw, cold gaze, no expression. Mia's pulse pounded, 3 against 1. She was out of practice, outnumbered. You came, Raven said. His tone was almost approving. Good, let's talk business. Mia stayed near the shadows. What's the mission? A simple extraction, he said. Target's causing problems for our clients. You neutralize him. We call it even. Neutralize? She knew what that meant. Raven tossed her a photo. Her breath caught. A man in his 40s. Unremarkable face, cheap suit, faded background. But Mia had seen him before, in order files. He was a whistleblower, a man who exposed high-level corruption and survived the fallout. A rare kind of target, one the Order had tried and failed to silence. Now they wanted her to finish the job. Why him? She asked quietly. Does it matter? Raven said. You're a professional, Sparrow. You don't ask questions. The scarred woman smirked. The tank cracked his knuckles. Mia said nothing, but her mind was roaring. She couldn't do it. This was why she left, why she ran, why she risked everything. But if she refused now, she'd die. Not just here, everywhere. There'd be no escape. She glanced around. No good exits. Not without a distraction. Then she heard it. Crunch. Rustle. Footsteps outside. She tensed. Was it backup? Numbers sloppy. Untrained. Loud. She peeked through a broken window, and her stomach dropped. Brittany. Jake. Tara. Phones in hand. Hiding. Watching. Idiots. They followed her. Probably hoping to catch another humiliation. Probably thinking this was all some drug deal or secret boyfriend drama. They had no idea they were stepping into a war zone, but their stupidity gave her an idea. "I'll do it," Mia lied, her voice steady. Raven's eyes narrowed. He didn't buy it completely, but he nodded. "Good girl, the target's in." Before he finished, Mia kicked over a stack of crates. Crash! The sound exploded through the warehouse. Outside, Brittany screamed. Raven's head snapped toward the sound. His hand went for his blade. "You set us up!" Mia moved. She dove for cover as a knife flew past her, embedding into metal inches from her skull. The tank charged. She looped a garrote around a rusted pipe. At the last second, she yanked it taut. He tripped, crashed into debris with a roar. Outside, Brittany's group screamed again. "Deal with them!" Raven barked. The woman sprinted toward the door. Mia lunged at Raven, striking his wrist to disarm him. He countered, knee to her stomach. Pain exploded. She gasped, but didn't stop. She twisted, threw him off balance, kicked his knee. He staggered. "You've gotten soft," he growled, drawing a second blade. Mia didn't answer. She was done talking. The fight was savage, brutal. Raven was fast, expert, every blow designed to kill. But Mia had one edge. She knew how he thought. She disarmed him of the second blade. He came at her with fists. She feinted left, struck right, palm to chest, kicked to knee. He fell, hard. She stood over him, heart pounding. "Tell the order. I'm done," she whispered. "If they come again, I won't be this nice." She didn't wait for an answer. She ran. Brittany and her crew were long gone, screaming, fleeing into the dark. The woman hadn't returned. The tank was still groaning in the debris. Mia didn't look back. She just ran. For now, she'd survived. But the order had found her, and they would come again. Next time, they wouldn't underestimate her. She had only one choice left: disappear. Mia didn't sleep that night. She didn't eat the next day. Her body ached from the fight, deep bruises across her ribs, a split lip. Blood dried beneath her nails, but she didn't care. Pain meant she was still alive. And that was the problem. The order wouldn't accept failure. Raven had underestimated her, but next time, they wouldn't send men with memories. They'd send professionals with orders to kill. The 48-hour clock was ticking. She had no choice now. She couldn't hide. She couldn't beg. She had to destroy them before they destroyed her. At school, Brittany was silent. Everyone was. Word had spread like wildfire. 3 kids had filmed Mia in what looked like a drug deal turned violent. They hadn't gotten good footage. It was too dark, shaky, chaotic. But they saw enough. A strange man with a knife. A warehouse full of shadows. And Mia, fighting like she'd done it 1,000 times. Jake told people it was a gang initiation. Brittany said she'd been possessed. But the whispers grew teeth. Some thought she was a spy, a psycho, an assassin in hiding. And through it all, Mia walked the halls in silence, hood up, eyes cold, cuts on her knuckles like warning signs. No one dared look her in the eye. She met with her old handler that night, on her terms. Raven wasn't stupid. He knew she was dangerous now. So when he entered the warehouse again, Limping, stitched, eyes burning with humiliation, he came with no backup. He'd been ordered to finish the job cleanly, quietly. Redemption or death. "You lied," he said. "They think you're soft." "I'm not," Mia replied. "I'm done being used." "You always were a product, Sparrow. You were made, not born." "I was made by them," she said. "But what I am now, that's mine." Raven held out a flash drive. "Final offer. Intel on everyone they've sent after you. Names, faces. You help us, just this once, and it all goes away." She didn't touch it. "I want something else," she said. Raven raised a brow. "What?" "I want the names of every asset in this city, every safe house, every local target, every sleeper agent. You give me that, and I vanish. I'll erase myself." He paused, then, with a twisted grin, said, "You're planning a war." "I'm planning a funeral," Mia whispered. "Yours." And she pulled the trigger. No one heard the shot. The warehouse swallowed it whole. Over the next 3 days, Mia did the impossible. She hunted the hunters. She hit 3 safe houses, burned one to the ground, stripped the others clean. She left notes behind. "You made me. Now watch me unmake you." She hacked old order comms using devices she rebuilt from scraps. The stolen USB helped. She found surveillance files, target lists, encrypted threats, even dossiers on students at her school marked for recruitment. The order didn't care about kids. They only cared about tools. She would never be one again. On the 4th day, the order sent someone new. Her name was Lenka. She didn't wear black like the others. She wore white. She didn't carry knives. She carried an old book, bound in human leather. Lenka didn't kill. She converted. Mia didn't see her coming. She sat in her chemistry class, trying to focus, when the classroom door opened. And there she was, blonde, tall, smiling like a mother at a funeral. "This is Ms. Lenka. She'll be shadowing our faculty for the next few weeks," the teacher said. Lenka's eyes met Mia's and held. There was no doubt. This wasn't a teacher. This was a high-level handler, an indoctrinator, a manipulator. The order was done playing games. Later in the hallway, Lenka found her, alone, back turned. "Do you know what I see when I look at you, Mia?" she said softly. Mia didn't answer. "I see a girl trying to choose between extinction and evolution. One path ends in ash, the other in power." Mia turned slowly. "You don't scare me." "I don't have to," Lenka said. "Fear is for the weak. You, my dear, you've outgrown fear, haven't you?" "I outgrew you the day I ran," Mia replied. Lenka's smile widened. "Then why are you still here?" Mia froze. Because she didn't know. Why was she still at this school? Still trying to finish the year? Still pretending she could graduate, go to college, live some normal life? That dream was already gone. She realized it in that moment. She wasn't hiding anymore. She was hunting. And Lenka had just become her newest target. That night, Mia didn't go home. She went underground, deep into the old subway tunnels where the city's blueprints still hid forgotten routes. She set traps, relays, surveillance nodes. She hacked the security system at school, set motion sensors, rerouted cameras. If Lenka moved at night, she'd see it. And above all, she waited. 2 days later, Mia found what she needed. Lenka's pattern, her base of operations. She followed her to a forgotten cathedral, abandoned, full of pigeons and rot. But inside were computers, weapons, files, live feeds from dozens of schools, names of kids, faces, psychological profiles, recruitment schedules. Mia found her own name. Asset reclamation. Status, dangerous. Termination, authorized. Below it was a timestamp. 24 hours. Lenka was planning to kill her. But not just her. There were 12 other names on that list. Kids she knew. Some she hated. Some she didn't even notice before. But none of them deserved this. She copied everything, and she set the cathedral on fire. By sunrise, the flames were visible across the city. The church burned like judgment. Lenka escaped, but she left something behind. Fear. The order was losing its grip. And Mia? She was done waiting for them. She was ready to strike first.